First play we're going to look at, 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
This morning, our first signing of today's free agency frenzy was linebacker Robert Spillane. Patriots signed him to a 3-year, $37.5 million contract. We weren't as inspired early on, Taylor, but as we've sort of dove in and figured out not just more so who this guy was, but really took our brains to work and stopped the free agency frenzy. We realized this is a pretty good signing. Again, 3 years, 3 years, $37.5 million. Has connections to Josh McDaniels, played under him with the Las Vegas Raiders, but was also signed as an undrafted free agent out of Western Michigan by Mike Vrabel and the Titans in 2018. Worked under them for 1 season, him and linebacker Terrell Williams, or defensive coordinator Terrell Williams. He's 29 years old. He's 6'1", 229 pounds, went to Western Michigan. Someone who a lot of the pundits and the draft, the NFL analysts out there, sounds like an underrated signing. People really like this move with Spillane to the Patriots. I just saw Ryan Fowler from the Draft Network post it. I know Will Compton, who was a teammate of Spillane with both the Titans and the Raiders, said that was one of his favorite signings. Again, take that for what it's worth, but Will played the game. So they signed him today to the contract. What do you make of the Spillane fit? Do you like it? Do you think he was an overpay? Where are you now that we've sort of taken a step back and looked at how he can fit with the Patriots defense?
Spoiler alert for the rest of this. Every signing they made is probably an overpay. It's free agency. They have plenty of money. You should not care if they overpaid. You pay what the market dictates the player is worth. The Patriots have been doing that, so I don't really care about the contracts, to be honest. As long as they're signing good players. Robert Spillane, I owe him an apology. When we did the initial announcement of the signing, I'd only seen some clips of him, and honestly, I swear I saw all the worst ones because it's him like missing tackles, having the ball thrown over his head in some play action situations, and I'm like, oh God, it's happening again. I can't do another season of this with a guy who might not be able to take on blocks. I watched more. Okay. I can say I feel much better about this signing. First, Robert Spillane, you want somebody who's better in coverage, right? This defense is they're going to stop the run, and that will be a priority, but they're built to stop the pass is what the Vrabel system is. Spillane, a guy who played at about like 220-something pounds, so more of that big safety kind of mold, but he does play with physicality. He reminds me of Ninkovich, like anybody who just feels like they're always around the ball, whether it's making plays themselves or they just happen to be around the ball when things happen. It always makes me think of Ninko. And that is pretty much what Spillane is. He's got really good range, great awareness where he'll drop into his zone. If he feels that there's somebody dropping in his area, like with Marte Mapu against Patrick Mahomes, there's like 3 plays on his tape last season where he literally is just waiting for the quarterback to throw it and jumps it and picks it off. Really high IQ, intelligent player. Everything we've heard about him as a person is outstanding. And then when you actually look at the stats real quick, he had one of the best seasons of his career, and he's had back-to-back seasons where he actually had career years. This was the second best of his career. His best was 2023 when Josh McDaniels was, for a time, the Raiders head coach. He played the second most snaps in his career, which led to the second most pressures, the most tackles, the second most run stops, and he had his lowest missed tackle rate at 6%. That's the biggest one for me because, again, the ones I saw happened to be his missed tackles, and I'm just like, oh, no. But he was one of the best linebackers in the NFL when it came to bringing his guy down. So consistent tackler, a guy who has experience with both Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel and Terrell Williams, obviously not in the same role because he was the defensive line coach, but at least some familiarity in terms of having been on the same team together. Seriously, don't play a drinking game with familiarity. You're going to hurt yourself. But it makes a lot of fit, like Harold Landry, from just that perspective, but also the player. I think this is somebody the Patriots fans are really going to like. He's not perfect, but this team needed a new fit at linebacker. There weren't a ton of guys who really fit the mold and also had that familiarity. Dre Greenlaw was the only other guy, but Spillane it makes a little bit more sense because they know the person and the player.
Guy who they can trust. That's the main thing here. And I like how you mentioned the guy who's always around the ball. I mean, 19 pass deflections in his career, 6 interceptions total, 5 over the last 2 years, 2 last season, 3 the year before. 8.5 total sacks. Just, again, a guy who can make plays. And yes, you mentioned the overpay aspect of it, but even I talked about it on our DK recap last night and then, with a couple of our things earlier in the live show where they're going to have to repay, and that's okay because they do have the most cap space in the NFL. So I like the Spillane fit as well. I think it makes sense. Would have liked him for maybe a cheaper deal, but again, it's okay. It's all right. They'll make it work. And I really almost finished that lyric, but I stopped myself because we're trying to be professionals on this live show.
What's going on, everyone? Tayler Kyles here for CLNS Media with a very exciting announcement. Here at Patriots Press Pass, we will be introducing bonus tiers. Now, this will not affect any of the content that hopefully you've grown to know and love over here at Patriots Press Pass. It's all going to be some brand new stuff and extras so we can connect with you more and also provide you some more in-depth and high-quality content. Hopefully, you guys are going to like it. Here are the tiers and what you should be expecting from all these new bonuses. At Tier 1, we've got Rookie Starter. That'll come with ad-free content, early access to videos, 5% off of all merchandise, and even custom emojis. At Tier 2, we've got All Pro. Once again, ad-free content, early access, 10% off merchandise, custom emojis, but that'll also come with player profile film reviews and draft profiles. At Tier 3, we've got GOAT status. Same as all the other tiers, but it's going to be 20% off of all merchandise, and we're also going to have custom segments, Discord chat rooms with myself and other show hosts, as well as live film reviews with myself and whomever we've got on the podcast for that day, hoping to have some pretty fun guests.